Hi, everyone. After a few technical difficulties, and we're still having technical difficulties, Phyllis and I are the co-author of Facebook Marketing All-in-One for Dummies, along with the fabulous Amy Porterfield, and I wrote the third edition without Phyllis and Amy because they were smart. So welcome, everyone. We're going to be talking about targeting your Facebook ads and how to target to get results, and really kind of there's a lot I would love to share. I know we have about a half an hour of kind of sharing some information with you and then answering questions for 15 minutes. So if you do have questions, feel free to put them in the live chat, and we will answer those as well, hopefully as we go along, but we'll also take questions specifically at the end. So welcome. And I just want to talk a little bit about targeting, and Facebook is going to really be changing a lot this weekend. So this could all be a moot point by Monday. But one of the things that is interesting about targeting is that it's not only just the targeting that makes a big difference here. There's so many different variables, and you want to test each variable to see what's working best for you. But the two biggest differences that are made with your Facebook ads are in the image, number one, and number two is in the targeting. So those are the two biggest factors you have to get good results with your Facebook ads. So we're going to focus today just on the targeting, and what you also want to make sure you're doing with all of this is really reviewing your reports and then seeing which one works best. So there's all kinds of great ways you can target, and actually I'm going to share with you my complete list of Facebook targeting stuff. Let's see. So there's ways you can target. Here's a whole list of all the different things that are in Facebook targeting, and it is massive. So it's an amazing, huge list. But basically, there's demographics, interests, behaviors, and then more category. So that's kind of some of the factors that you have to play with to start with. And the demographics can be targeted by things like income, things like if someone is a homeowner. Of course, there's always like the where they live and stuff like that in there, but the demographics part of it is collected from data that is by a third party. So that data, like people say, well, how does Facebook know what income I make? I didn't put that in my Facebook profile. Facebook knows everything. It's creepy. So they have matched your login profile with anonymously with information collected by places like DoubleClick. All these places out there online are collecting this information and matching it to users, and it's very challenging to even know how to opt out of some of that stuff. You can't, it's crazy how much data is all out there. So you can say that you want to target high income people, that could be a possibility. You can also target people by their interests and things like that, things that they like. And that's in the interests area. So that's based on either pages they like or things they put in their profile. Like I've put jogging in my profile. Yeah, I should, hats and wigs, should go in the profile. But Facebook is tracking all these things that you click on, things that you interact with, and they are building a library of information on you. And then they're able to put you into a bucket when someone says they want to target people who are interested in jogging or are interested in yoga or things like that. You can also target by specific page names. So you can target the fans of people who like certain pages. And all you have to do is start typing the fan page name into that interests area on Facebook. And if there's a match with that page name, you can target the fans of that page. So let's talk about my 3 tips. I wanted to kind of give you kind of a higher level view of kind of ways you can target there. But some of my favorite ways to target are using a combination of those interests and demographics and saying things like, I want to target people who are high income and they like these things. So you can do that by narrowing your audience down when you select things. So when you go into the Facebook targeting area, you can start typing in some of the demographics, and then there's the option to narrow your audience. And what you want to do then is say that I want this and that narrows it, because it's kind of saying that someone has to match both of those categories to be targeted. So that is my first favorite way, and really kind of using that. That's a more general kind of beginning way, would kind of connect with your potential audience. That's a little bit more general. And then there's some more specifics, but I'm going to answer Paul's question here. So Paul is asking a question that comes up all the time. Can I target Facebook groups? Can I target the people who are part of Facebook groups? And you can, but I find that it's very limited, because targeting options are available mostly by size. So a group has to be pretty large to be able to be targeted. I haven't found that many groups that I've searched for in the targeting options. There's some, but it does have to be pretty large. And that goes for fan pages too. So it's kind of a function of size there. So yes, you have something to say.
Try to hear through the echo. Does it matter if the group is open, closed? Obviously not secret.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question. I've never looked to see if there's some groups that are closed that are able to be targeted. So I'm not sure. So Paul's asking like 10,000 in size. Yeah, it's really kind of hit and miss sometimes. So I have found pages that I can target that are only 1,000 fans. So it's kind of random. I've also looked for people who have 30 or 40,000 fans, and I can't find them in the targeting. And that can go for groups too. So it really just depends. And I think that they are a little bit more, I've just found less groups that are even able to be targeted when I've looked, compared to when I look for fan pages. I can a lot of times find certain fan pages, but I've done some searching on groups that I know are large, and just don't always find a lot of those in there. Some, but not all. So yeah, it's random. So you can always try by putting those keywords in there. And if there's an exact match, then they're able to be targeted. So tip number 1 is to use the demographics and interest to find groups of people who are this and that. So using kind of narrowing your audience to get more specific to your true target. Yeah. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 for my next favorite way to target is using retargeting. Now this is kind of a little bit challenging if you don't have enough website traffic, but I have found retargeting to be the best way to connect with an audience that is responsive. So what you need to have in place for retargeting is you need to have the Facebook Pixel installed on your website. And I'm going to put a little guide to my Facebook Ads Pixel on how to install that. And your first step is to install this Facebook Pixel so that Facebook can start gathering the traffic from your website and really determining if, who's visiting your website, and then putting those people in a bucket that you can send an ad to specifically. So you need to have the Facebook pixel in place as soon as possible, because the traffic won't start gathering in that bucket until you add that pixel on your site. And it's actually kind of a two-step process. You install the pixel, and then you create the audience. So you have to have both things in place. There's a section in Facebook ads that's called audiences, and you can create all your website visitors and say that I want to target my ad to all the people who've been visiting my website since I installed that pixel. And one little caveat, though, is that they also have to be logged into Facebook so that Facebook can match the website visitors with the Facebook user. So your website retargeting is always going to be a little bit less than your actual traffic to your site. That's why it's important to start gathering it now, because you're going to need at least 1,000 people to send an ad to that in that bucket that you'll be able to direct an ad to. So that definitely is something that you should get in your website now. So retargeting can be really powerful for everything from like getting then your website visitors to opt into something. For sales, it's almost always one of the only times I see really good conversions on a Facebook ad for a sale is when it's retargeting. And usually I recommend just only doing sales messages to your warm audience anyway, because that's who's more likely to buy. It works sometimes when you're sending sales messages out to a cold audience, but in general, I'm kind of recommending people mostly do their warm audience with that retargeting. Yeah.
So it seems like there is a ideal process with this, so that you have the ad, the retargeting, and then putting more budget with the retargeting because they're warmer. Is that true?
So wait, say that again. So you're going to put more budget towards
retargeting because they're a warm audience?
Yeah, but there's a limit to how much budget you can put into your retargeting ad because it's a smaller group. So one of the strategies that people use are to send a lot of traffic to their site. They're kind of capturing that traffic, even if they don't like opt into something, they're capturing that traffic with the pixel, and then they're using the retargeting, and that audience is already familiar with them because they've been to your website and they're like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so, and I'm going to opt into this, or I'm going to buy this. I meant to buy it earlier, but I forgot, or whatever. Or there's some, hard stop on the sale. So it's a good idea to make sure that you're reconnecting with those people who've already been to your audience or to your website. So sometimes people have only 1,000 people who've been to their website in the last month or so. So you can't put a ton of money into that without showing the ad to people at a higher frequency. So it doesn't, it's not always a good use of your money to do that, because people just get annoyed with your ads. So retargeting is my second favorite strategy here in terms of how to target your ads. My next favorite strategy is to use the custom audiences. And actually, the retargeting is a little bit kind of overlap there because you are creating a custom audience of website visitors. So it is still using that custom audience feature. But you can do more with custom audiences. You can do things like save audiences that work really well. It's going to save you some time. But you can also say, hey, I want to target website visitors who haven't yet subscribed to my email. Because if you're sending an ad for some sort of webinar, or maybe it's an opt-in offer, you don't want to send it to people who are already part of your list, because they're already part of it. They've already signed up. So send an ad to just those targeted people who have been to your website but are not on your list yet. And that's done with custom audiences. And I meant to pull these all up earlier, but I was looking for my hat.
That's great.
So here's an ad in. This is a little bit older, but it's how to effectively use custom audiences on Facebook. And really it's just about how to then upload your email subscriber list. And that's going to be that's going to help when you're doing something where you don't want to advertise to your current customers. Maybe you're advertising to something that they've just purchased. You can also do that with website custom audiences as well. So you can say, I want to advertise to people who've been to this opt-in page, but they haven't been to the thank you page. So you're now doing that. I want to exclude this group of people who have not gone all the way through my opt-in. I know they've been there, but they haven't gone through. Now, the thing about custom audiences like this is that sometimes you don't have a critical mass, because your email list, you might have 100 people on it or something like that. You're just getting started, whatever. And they don't always all match with the email logins on Facebook, because sometimes people are giving you a different email list, and then they have a different email or an email address, and then they have a different email that they're using to log into Facebook. So it's not going to be a match. Yeah. Back to Phyllis. I know. Sorry, guys. If you're just joining us, I'm having massive echo problems, so I can't listen.
If I could do this by charades, I would, but I can't. Is there a general ratio or percentage of people when they upload their lists that don't match Facebook?
Yeah, so usually what I find the match rate is around 50%, up to 75%. But what I see for B2B companies, if you are a B2B company, a lot of times someone is giving you their business address and then they're logging into Facebook with a personal email. So that match rate is often somewhere around 25%. So it's really low. So for B2B companies, it can be a little more challenging. But what you can do with that is, you only have to have 20 people in the list to be able to use it in some way. So you can still target all your website visitors and take out those 20 people and just, save yourself a little energy and money right there by not advertising to them, and a little hassle for the visitors. And so there's just really cool things that you can do with that. Yes. What is that?
There's a great question from Vicki.
Oh, okay, good. There it is. It's over there for me. So, okay. So Vicky's asking, I have a client who absolutely won't allow me to use the email list with Facebook. He's convinced that Facebook will use the email addresses for their own purposes. Very hard to convince him that Facebook already has the addresses. So true. Can I still use custom audiences? Okay. So there's a couple things to tell your client about that. What happens when you upload it is Facebook guarantees the safety of it, and they say they're hashing the data. So Facebook is uploading them, they're hashing it and removing it. So they're putting those people into that custom audience and they're removing that information. But yes, like you said, they already do have the email addresses that they're matching. What they don't have is the email addresses that they're not matching there. So, it's hard. It is hard to convince clients of that sometimes, that it's supposedly safe. It's Facebook doesn't have ulterior motives there. So another solution would be to say, okay, let's try and recreate that custom audience with a website custom audience. But if you haven't installed the Pixel, then that's hard to recreate too, because maybe people visited a long time ago or visited the website. But you can, in a sense, recreate that that custom audience through a website visitor. So you would say all the people who have been to that thank you page would have given you their email address. So you can actually target it that way if they've opted in or if they've bought something. And you can upload different types of lists. You can upload like your customer list. You can upload anyone who's opted into your offer. So it's kind of a little bit warmer leads, and maybe you subtract the warm leads minus the customers, and and then that those people are your targets to try and get them to convert into a customer. So I am on a roll. It must be the hat. It's my golden hat. That's so awesome. So that is my tip number 3 for targeting your Facebook ads, is use those custom audiences. And I do like saving my best audiences so that I'm saving time when I go to recreate an ad. I know I just pick that audience. I go and delete audiences that didn't work for me. For some types of things, sometimes I keep them just, to try them with a different type of ad or whatever. But, keep those audiences accessible and create things like all the people who have visited your website but not opted in, with your email list, or all that kind of combination targeting that will help you really reach that warm audience that will convert a little bit easier. So great. Tip number, awesome. Yeah, and I'm totally geek out on this stuff. So great. I think, what else? Oh, so let me just talk a little bit about some of the new things that are coming down the pike this weekend with Facebook ads. Power Editor is being redesigned as we speak, and it is interesting already that I've seen. I don't know what the final thing is going to look like. I'm really not. I hope they change it, because right now, to me, it looks like Ads Manager, and I don't like it at all. I've seen different little rumors about the way that they're kind of giving you ways that they're giving you to kind of target that top of funnel, like, mid funnel, and then, the sales section, so that you're kind of working your ads and properly structuring your ads for the right type of ad to each type of audience. So that's something that could be coming. I don't know what that might look like, but I've seen a couple of potential screenshots. It looks interesting, and it'll mean that I have to redo all my blog posts. As well as my product. One quick thing I'm going to take out of that. One quick thing I'm going to tell you is that I have a free course on Facebook ads. So I would definitely, I have a free course and a paid course. I'm going to give you the link to my free course, and that is right here. And that is, that tells you how to target, how to set up that targeting. So I would recommend you go opt into that now and look at it before Facebook changes. And that's my free course. And then my full course on Facebook ads, which you get lifetime access to the updates and everything like that, is right here. So that's my full course, and you get all kinds of modules on that, bonuses. You've got tons of recording on walking you through all the kinds of things you need to know with reporting, targeting, ad creation, Power Editor, Business Manager. So that's great stuff in there, if I do say so myself. So the paid one is, yes, Paul, the paid one is up to date as of right now. The only one thing that's changed is the navigation, where it's got that drop down, but everything else is exactly on point and updated. And it also includes Instagram ads, how to do those, because those are run through Facebook as well. So it is fully updated. I updated it just a few months ago, and I will have to update it again. Isn't that great? But you'll get full access to all the updates if you sign up, and there's a Facebook group in there that you can ask more questions. So yeah. Cool. Okay, so any other questions that we have coming in? We can take some questions for the last 15 minutes. Oh, yeah, here it is. Kristen, is, and if you're just joining us, I am having a horrible echo, so Phyllis is miming to me, so I don't have to listen to my earbuds.
I can actually talk without moving my mouth, and then she won't know that I'm talking.
I don't have access to create Canvas ads on my company page. An idea. So let me ask you this: what are you doing with the Canvas ads? What is something you want to do with that Canvas? I feel like Canvas ads are really focused and good for people who have extremely visual brands, where people are going to want to see several pictures before they make any decisions. And it's a Canvas ads are a mobile only ad that you can swipe left, swipe right, swipe up and down. And I think they're good, especially for vacation type things, recreation, food, shopping, all that type of industry. But it depends on what your business is. So tell me what your business is. I'd like to hear, because I would like to know. Because I don't think Canvas ads, insurance. No, do not create a Canvas ad. No, don't. Honestly, there is no reason to create a Canvas ad for an insurance company unless you have lots of amazing pictures of people that you're going to, for some reason, that people want to see. I don't know. I think really a more effective ad is going to be a website click ad or a website conversion ad where you're sending them over to the website to do something specific. I think a video ad would be more effective for you, not a Canvas ad, because I think that they're too new. People are, still getting used to how they work. And I think it might be more curiosity swiping than anything. I think it's a website click ad or website conversion ad is going to be much more effective for you. And actually, this is where you need to test too. So I would test if you can put a pixel on your site, then definitely use that conversion ad so you can get people to opt into something. But then you test a video ad and a website conversion ad and see which gets better results. I've actually found that sometimes just a straight on picture gets better results. Sometimes a carousel ad does better. And what that is like those 3 to 5 images that you can kind of direct people, and they kind of look a little bit more interesting on Facebook. But test those different types of ads. But for most people, I think start out with the simplest. Start out with a website click ad or a website conversion ad.
And you don't have to listen to what I'm saying.
Is asking, is the paid one a full Facebook advertising course? It is. It covers all kinds of Facebook advertising. It covers the different types. I go into lead generation ads. I go into the video ads. We talk about Instagram ads. We go into Power Editor, and it's really geared towards probably beginner to intermediate level people. So if you're really already heavily into the Power Editor and that's, all you do all the time, you might be more interested in John Loomer's course. He does a kind of a Power Hitters Club that's a monthly subscription. But I still have lots of Power Editor strategies in it, but it's not necessarily like super advanced. Yes, Phyllis.
Is there any data around demographics choosing certain types of ads? Do they like carousel ads in a certain demographic, or is that something for another demographic?
I haven't seen anything. It's making me so mad. I haven't seen anything like that. If they've really, Facebook releases some information where they kind of give you like little case studies, but they've never said this industry likes this ad. I think that Facebook is a little geared towards, they're kind of heavily promoting the Canvas ad. And I think that's why people are asking about it a lot, because they're like, oh, I need to do Canvas. I'm like, no, you just start out with basic and at first and really get that solid so you know what those results are. And then, if you're really visual, then go with something else. But I haven't seen any like automotive people like, lead generation ads or whatever. And, I think that there's a wide variety of different types of ads that work. And there's so many variables when it comes to copy, image, targeting. I think it's probably hard to give like a standard industry-wide kind of thing. So, and awesome, I see Kristen is saying that she's got the Pixel installed after I recommended it at Social Media Marketing World 2016. Woo! Awesome. So, Schmidt, let me see, Patricia Haddad, Schmidt Haddad, is asking what kind of ads do I recommend for consultancy, investment company, and a legal advisory firm? I would really say for that you would have, I've done a lot of legal ads and investment type ads. I've done two types of things with those. One is opt-ins, where you have some sort of ebook that's giving people information about, maybe it's something that you can advise on with financial stuff, or maybe it's insurance type advice. One of the ones I worked on was, kind of letting families know how to protect themselves for insurance. And it was for law firms who were looking at what was the estate planning. That's what it was. So any type of thing like that where you can use it to grow an email list is preferred. So if you have like an ebook, or you have a webinar where you're going to give out some information to people, then what you want to do is do a website click ad, preferably a website conversion ad where it says increase conversions on my website. But to do that type of ad, you have to have the Pixel installed on your site and kind of a thank you page that you put the Pixel on as well. So you have to have kind of a progression there, and you have to be able to install that Pixel onto the site. So that would be kind of my recommendation. People are not on Facebook to buy something immediately. What works better is kind of getting them interested in some great information you have. So even something like taking a blog post that is really popular and maybe turning it into an ebook or a downloadable that someone could go opt into would be really, really good. So hope that helps. So yes, so Rodrigo is asking if lead generation ads are the best option for mobile. And what I would suggest with that is that they work really well. And you can, what a lead generation ad is allows people to opt into your offer with just 2 clicks. They go, click, yes, I'm interested in that offer. And they see what kind of information you're asking of them. It could be like your email, their name. And then they say, yes, I want that. I authorize them to get that information from me. And it is their like email from Facebook and their name from Facebook. And with 2 clicks, they can opt into your offer. And then you get their email and you can email them the information about that. And they work really, really well. But what I also suggest is try a different test. Try the website conversion ad on mobile only and see how that works. And you have to have a mobile optimized website to do that too. You want to make sure your website looks nice, and it's going to be a couple more clicks because they're going to have to click on the ad, then they're going to go over to your site and plug in maybe the information there. So it is more clicks, but when I was testing it, I was finding I was getting a better conversion rate with the website conversion ad versus a lead generation ad. So it depends. I think lead generation ads are becoming a little more common where people are used to them, but sometimes it might freak people out like, oh, I don't know what this is. And they're not used to seeing it, so they might not convert as much. So definitely check that out and test it. Vicky is saying the website is ancient, trying to get them to redo it, but can't get them to spend the money on it. That is so true. It's always the case, right? So what I would say is if they have a webinar, then maybe the solution is to use something like a dedicated opt-in page that would be something like Lead Pages or Unbounce or what's the one I was just thinking of? I totally lost it.
Optimize.
Wait, hold on. What?
Using Optimize Press or something like that.
Press. Yeah. Yeah, one of those sites that will create an opt-in form for you that's kind of, customizable. And then it can also you can link it with your email system. You can link it with something like GoToWebinar. And that way you don't have to worry about their crappy design. You can get something that looks really nice, and then it's a little bit hopefully more appealing and more mobile friendly too, because one of the things I see with Facebook ads is probably about 60 to 70% of the traffic when I'm using both desktop newsfeed and mobile newsfeed. Usually 60 to 70% of the interaction on my ad is mobile users. So you want to make sure the website looks good on mobile if you're going to send them over there. So awesome. And Paul, bye Paul, if he's maybe already left. I don't know. Phyllis is asking you questions.
So funny
questions nowadays. Who knows? So we've got a couple more minutes. Does anyone have any other questions about Facebook ads? So we gave out, if you just joined us, we kind of recapped our 3 tips up there for targeting. And we're just talking about a little bit more about the type of ads you can run. I'm, in general, recommending you run a website click ad. Actually, I'll show you guys. I'm actually doing a series of video tips here on my Andrea Ball.
And while she's
those tips too.
While she's putting that in,
about the boosted post and the issue with also what type of ad you should run, like a website click ad or website conversion ad. Yeah.
I just wanted to say they're wonderful tips, and you should definitely go there and just to make sure that you are looking for those, because they're very clear, to the point, very handy. They're things you can send to clients. If you have clients who are worried about Facebook ads, a little education really helps. So I just wanted to give an extra little boost for that. They're really good.
Thanks. That's so awesome. And yeah, so the 3 opt-in page sites that we were recommending were Lead Pages, Unbounce, and Optimized Press. Those are 3 different places. And there's others out there. There's things like Wufoo. That's another one that's fairly inexpensive to create an opt-in form. Actually, I'll go pull that up too. Wufoo creates online
lots of options in this category.
And it's a little more, yeah. So there's another one, in case you need more. Get Response, that could be. Yeah, there's tons of them out there. That's the thing. Get Response could be, but Get Response is also a little bit more of a system, right? That's more for email marketing, and essentially, right? So you can do like a full suite of tools. MailChimp and Aweber are really kind of more email tools, not necessarily landing page tools.
But some of these do help you create landing pages, and they give you the code to put on your website. So absolutely. I think the point is that you can send a Facebook ad to any URL. Mm-hmm. And so if your website isn't mobile ready, you can send it to a site that can collect the email that is mobile ready. So that's, I think, the whole point with that.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Well, we're at let's see. A couple more questions that come in, and let's just answer Vicky's question. Then we're going to wrap it up. So Vicky's saying, so I can start gathering email addresses from the opt-in pages, bypass the client's old email list that he's collected over the years and won't share with me. Yeah, that is an acceptable way to go about that. That's right. So, and so Optimized Press and Lead Pages are Araxi, is that how you pronounce your name? I'm not sure. Yeah, they are around a lot, and they're great tools for creating something really fast for a landing page. So it's good stuff. All right, everyone, we are at the 45-minute mark. Sorry for the little technical issues with the echo, but we worked around it. And I have to say, Phyllis, I love those little fluff balls on you.
I should wear them all the time.
So great, everyone. We'll be back again next week, hopefully without the echo. and we'll see you again.
Bye-bye,
Bye, guys.
everybody. Thanks for hanging with us.